Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. In this video, I am going to take a look back at some of my favourite TV shows from 2022. My criteria for selection included seasons of continuing shows, so not just brand new shows. And if a TV show didn't make this list, it could be because I may simply not have seen it. Time is short, so I can't see everything. So some good TV shows might not have made it, or it could be they're not here because they're just utter crap. Who knows? Please note that there will be some mild spoilers ahead, and let's start with a few honourable mentions. The Lincoln Lawyer, not a bad Netflix television adaptation of Michael Connelly's popular Mickey Haller character, certainly worth a watch. Perry Mason, which was an interesting revival of the much-produced property with a nice performance by Welshman Matthew Rhys in the title role, and it's always good to see John Lithgow and Shea Wiggum in anything. Beavis and Butthead, it was great to see the boys back in town, this time with the twist that they are watching internet influencers instead of metal videos. And Narco Saints, which was a very interesting Netflix entry to the various Narcos titles. This one not really related to the others, but the twist in this one is it focuses on South Korean drug lords in the country of Suriname. Based on a real story, it revealed the front of the war on drugs hitherto little known, at least to me, and it features some of my favourite Korean actors, and I'm always up for a good Korean show. And Jack Ryan Season 3, which could easily have made the top 10. Just finally saw it at the death of the new year, as it were, so it's just got it in under the wire. And it was another solid and fun entry in the Jack Ryan series. John Krasinski continues to impress as an action star, and Wendell Pierce is always great. If anyone remembers his fantastic performance in Treme, a really good show that I enjoyed. He's a great actor. But Scottish actor James Cosmo steals the show, in my opinion, as a veteran Russian intelligence advisor. So on to the top 10. Now, at number 10, I've got Season 4 of Manifest, which this time is on Netflix. This will probably be an unpopular choice, as there are a lot of people who revile this show and characterise it as lost light. It's also disliked by many critics due to the visible family values and positive portrayals of fathers, male characters in general, and the fact that there are teenagers in the show who actually like their families and are in general not miserable, and so on. So those things alone would be enough for me to place it into the top 10. But, you know, I also enjoy the characters very much, and I am intrigued by the mystery. So for me, it's been a very low-key, great show. At number 9 is Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which was an excellent standalone anime series on Netflix set in the world of CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. It had some fantastic characters with real emotional impact and a compelling story and brilliant animation, and really, for me, revived my interest in the game itself. So great little show. If you get the chance to watch that. At number 8 is the first South Korean show in my top 10, and it's a new series called DP, which is short for Deserter Pursuit. In South Korea, the military draft is compulsory, and every year there are a raft of deserters. Bullying is rife, and corrupt and lazy officers turn a blind eye. In fact, one of the officers in the show is played by Son Suk-koo, a favourite actor of mine who also played the baddie in The Roundup recently. The series follows a small team of military police, themselves often young recruits, who are tasked with finding those deserters. There are some difficult topics and some real tragedy in this show, but the performances are great, and the show is very compelling, and I'm happy to see there will be a second series. Number 7 is the final batch of shows from the excellent Breaking Bad prequel stroke sequel stroke spin-off Better Call Saul, which as a series overall has been fantastic, every season of it. So everything is wrapped up in a bow in the final season, and there are some Breaking Bad cameos to boot. We've grown to love these characters and the realm that they inhabit. There were shocks, there were laughs, there were tears, condemnations and redemptions, and it was a fitting end to a great show. At number 6 is a new AMC series called Dark Winds. Produced by Robert Redford and George R.R. Martin, this crime thriller is set in the Navajo Nation in the 1970s, and there's many iconic landscape views of places like Monument Valley included. The excellent Zan McLarnon plays Navajo Police Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn, whose small, in fact tiny, police force have to police an enormous area on the nation with few resources. Now, an armed robbery in nearby Gallup, New Mexico brings murder and the FBI into Leaphorn's jurisdiction and also stirs up old conflicts. So it's a very tightly scripted and riveting procedural, and McLarnon is awesome, as he has been in everything else I've ever seen him in. And I'm pleased to say a second season has been commissioned. So we're getting into the top 5. At number 5 is the second Korean show in my top 10, which is Money Heist Korea Joint Economic Area. And this was an engrossing thrill ride. In fact, this show had more layers than an entremont cake, and more twists and turns than a Scottish road. The fantastic cast has huge chemistry, in particular Park Hae-soo as one of the heist leaders, Berlin, who gives a fantastic performance, and Kim Yeon-yin as the crisis team leader. It always keeps you guessing about what's going on, as there are layers within layers and motivations within motivations. And it's got you cheering the heist on by the end, as its aim is to take down the political corruption so obviously on display in this new joint economic area that's being set up by the Koreas. So, good stuff. At number 4 is perhaps one of the biggest surprises on the list, which is Reacher. Not a surprise for me, because I love the character of Jack Reacher, but it's a surprise that Amazon could actually produce something this good and not subvert the character of Reacher. And the fact the character of Reacher is so accurately portrayed that it's just what we fans of the series of books have really needed. And unlike Tom Cruise, and no disrespect to Tom Cruise, Alan Ritchson as Reacher is exactly how you would imagine him to be, physically and in demeanour. The story is a pretty good version of the Jack Reacher novel Killing Floor, and I have to say I fell in love with the show instantly, like within minutes. And if you want an example of how good the action is in it, check out the brutal jail fight in episode 1. It's absolutely awesome stuff. There is loads of action, drama, humour and mystery, and it was excellent pacing, and I can't wait for season 2. Number 3 is Alice in Borderland season 2. This is one of my favourite Japanese TV shows of all time. It's intriguing and it's thrilling. Season 1 left us wanting more, and Season 2 for me did not disappoint. This live-action manga adaptation is a clever, mind-bending science fiction drama with a group of people trapped in a seemingly abandoned or alternative Tokyo, or indeed what is it? And they are forced to play puzzling and often brutal games to survive and win the chance to return home. Or will they? Or is home even a thing anymore? Who is doing this? Why are they doing it? And you see various alliances between inhabitants of this abandoned world joining together, or indeed joining against each other to try and compete in these games to survive. And a group of disparate players team up to try and survive together and to get answers as to just what is going on. It's puzzling, it's tense, it's thrilling, it's mysterious, and it's just plain wonderful. And it has an ending. Or does it? At number 2 on the list is The Terminalist. And if Reacher caused Amazon to surprise me, then The Terminalist almost caused me to question the foundations of reality itself. How could this show be made by the same people who made some of the worst adaptations in history in the same year? The Terminalist is a visceral show with no punches pulled. It's an action thriller based on the Jack Carr novels. It grabs you by the balls from the first frame and it never lets go. Chris Pratt's James Reese is on a historic revenge mission to avenge his family, and nothing will stand in his way. Nothing. Pratt is outstanding, playing against type as a hard guy, and supported by Taylor Kitsch as his former Navy SEAL buddy. And I'm a big fan of Taylor Kitsch, and it's good to see him in such a good role. It's outstanding action television at its best. Predictably, the woke critics hated it, but as author Jack Carr said, the 95% audience rating makes it all worth it. We didn't make it for the critics. So bravo, Jack, and if you haven't seen it, I can't recommend The Terminalist highly enough. So, we reached number 1. And despite strong competition in the top 5, the clear winner for me this year was The Offer. This Paramount Plus comedic drama about the making of The Godfather is glorious. It has a perfect script, it is perfect casting, it is great drama, it is great humour, and it is a loving, nostalgic look back at the dying days of the Hollywood studio system and the clash with the arrival of the new wave of filmmakers that were coming in. Matthew Good's brilliant portrayal of Paramount studio boss Robert Evans is more Evans than the real Evans, if that's possible. It's a performance for the ages. He is simply unbelievable in this role. Great actor, but to play Evans like this is just incredible. But the rest of the principal cast, including Miles Teller, Colin Hanks, Giovanni Ribisi, Juno Temple, and Dan Folger, are perfect. But I do have to give a special shout out to the hilarious Bern Gorman, who plays Gulf Western head Charles Bluedhorn. Gorman absolutely slays it. The show follows the twists and turns of this difficult production of a soon-to-be masterpiece, and I don't want to discuss too many details for anyone who hasn't seen it. All I can do is urge you to get a copy and see it now. It's a reminder of when Hollywood wanted to entertain and was a true dream factory. And also check out my video on the show if you want to find more. But that, for me, The Offer is it's the most enjoyable show of the year for me. So thanks for watching. If you liked what you've seen, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what your favourites are. Until next time, stay well.